Mastering the American accent and achieving native-like fluency in English is a goal shared by millions of language learners worldwide. Whether you're preparing for a career opportunity, planning to study in the United States, or simply passionate about perfecting your English skills, understanding the nuances of American pronunciation and developing authentic listening comprehension are essential steps on your journey to real fluency. Understanding what native-like really means. Before diving into techniques and practice methods, it's important to clarify what speaking like a native actually entails. Native-like fluency isn't about eliminating your accent completely or sounding identical to someone born in America. Rather, it's about developing clarity, confidence, and naturalness in your speech patterns. It means being able to communicate effortlessly, understand rapid conversational English, and use the rhythm, intonation, and stress patterns that make English sound authentic and engaging. Many successful English speakers maintain traces of their original accent while speaking with perfect clarity and fluency. The goal isn't to erase your linguistic identity, but to enhance your communication skills so that your accent never becomes a barrier to understanding or professional success. The foundation, American English sound system. The American accent is characterized by specific phonetic features that distinguish it from British, Australian, or other English varieties. Understanding these foundational elements is crucial for anyone serious about mastering American pronunciation. The rhotic R sound. Perhaps the most distinctive feature of American English is the rhotic R. Americans pronounce the R sounds in all positions within a word. Words like car, far, and door maintain that strong R sound at the end, unlike in British English, where these R's are often dropped. This single feature dramatically changes the character of American speech. To practice the sound, curl the tip of your tongue slightly backward without touching the roof of your mouth. The sides of your tongue should touch your upper back teeth. Try saying red car, purple shirt, and northern border while maintaining that R sound throughout. The schwa sound. The schwa is the most common vowel sound in English, represented phonetically as It's the unstressed, neutral vowel sound you hear in words like about, syllable, and authority. Native speakers use the schwa constantly, and mastering it is essential for natural-sounding English. It makes English more fluid and less choppy. Instead of pronouncing every vowel distinctly, Americans reduce unstressed syllables to this neutral sound. Compare how a non-native speaker might say chocolate, late, where the second and third syllables blend into schwa sounds. Flapping and the American T. When the letter T appears between two vowels in American English, it often sounds like a soft D or a very quick flap of the tongue. This is why water sounds like water and better sounds like better in casual American speech. This flapping phenomenon is one of the most noticeable characteristics of the American accent. Practice with common words: letter, butter, matter, getting, sitting. Don't pronounce a hard T sound. Instead, let your tongue quickly tap the roof of your mouth, creating that softer, flowing sound. Mastering American intonation patterns. Pronunciation of individual sounds is only part of the equation. The melody of English, its intonation patterns, carries crucial meaning and affects how native-like you sound. Stress-timed rhythm. English is a stress-timed language, meaning that stressed syllables occur at roughly regular intervals and unstressed syllables are compressed between them. This creates the characteristic rhythm of English that differs dramatically from syllable-timed languages like Spanish or French. In the sentence, I wanted to go to the store, native speakers stress the content words, wanted, go, store, while rapidly compressing the function words, I, to, the. The sentence doesn't sound like I wanted to go to the store. Instead, it flows. I want to go to the store. Rising and falling intonation. American English uses pitch changes to convey meaning. Statements typically end with falling intonation, while yes/no questions rise at the end. WH questions, who, what, where, when, why, actually fall at the end, contrary to what many learners expect. Practice these patterns. You're going to the store, falling, versus you're going to the store, rising. The same words with different intonation create different meanings. Mastering this allows you to sound more natural and convey your intended meaning more accurately. Thought groups and pausing. Native speakers don't speak in isolated words. They organize speech into thought groups or phrases, pausing briefly between them. These pauses help listeners process information and make speech sound more natural. Compare, when I was at the store yesterday, I saw my friend from high school. Robotic, versus when I was at the store yesterday, I saw my friend from high school. Natural. The forward slashes represent brief pauses that create thought groups. Effective listening practice for real comprehension. Speaking like a native is impossible without understanding native speech. American English speakers, particularly in casual conversation, use reductions, contractions, and connected speech that can baffle even advanced learners. Listening to authentic materials. Textbook English and real-world English are vastly different. To train your ear, expose yourself to authentic American media, podcasts, YouTube channels, TV shows, movies, and news broadcasts. Start with content that interests you. If you're passionate about cooking, watch American cooking shows. If you love technology, listen to tech podcasts. The key is consistency and active listening. Don't just have English playing in the background. Instead, dedicate focused time where you actively try to understand every word, pause when confused, and replay sections multiple times. Progressive difficulty training. Begin with content designed for learners or clear, slow speech, then gradually increase difficulty. News broadcasts are excellent because anchors speak clearly with good articulation. From there, move to talk shows, then sitcoms, and finally, natural conversations or fast-paced podcasts. As you progress, challenge yourself with different accents within American English. The way people speak in Texas differs from New York, which differs from California. Exposure to this variety will make you a more versatile listener. Shadowing technique. Shadowing is one of the most powerful techniques for developing both listening skills and native-like pronunciation. It involves listening to a short audio clip and immediately repeating what you hear, mimicking the speaker's pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm as closely as possible. Start with short clips of 10 to 15 seconds. Listen several times first, then try to shadow simultaneously, speaking along with the audio. Record yourself and compare your version to the original. This technique trains your mouth muscles to produce English sounds while simultaneously improving your listening comprehension and speech rhythm. Vocabulary and idioms. Speaking authentically. Native-like fluency requires more than perfect pronunciation. You need to use vocabulary, expressions, and idioms the way Americans actually do. Phrasal verbs. Americans love phrasal verbs, combinations of verbs with prepositions that create new meanings. Instead of saying, I will continue, a native speaker says, I'll keep on. Instead of postpone, they put off. Instead of tolerate, they put up with. Learn phrasal verbs in context, not in isolation. When you encounter one in media or conversation, note how it's used. Common ones include figure out, come up with, run into, get along with, look forward to, and catch up with. Conversational fillers. Native speakers use fillers naturally in conversation. These aren't mistakes. They're features of fluent speech that give speakers time to think. Common American fillers include like, you know, I mean, so, well, and actually. While you shouldn't overuse these, incorporating them appropriately makes your speech sound more natural. I was like, so surprised. Or, so, I was thinking we could. These patterns appear constantly in casual American English. Current slang and expressions. Language evolves constantly. Staying current with common expressions helps you understand contemporary media and connect with native speakers. However, be mindful of context. Slang appropriate among friends might be too casual for professional settings. Recent years have popularized expressions like no cap, meaning no lie, hits different, meaning feels special, low key, which means somewhat, and high key, which means very, and it's giving, which means it gives the impression of. While you don't need to use all modern slang, understanding it prevents confusion and helps you grasp cultural references. Speaking practice strategies. Understanding theory is one thing. Developing muscle memory and confidence is another. Speaking practice must be regular, varied, and purposeful. Self-recording and analysis. Technology makes it easier than ever to record yourself speaking. Choose a topic, speak for 2 to 3 minutes, then listen critically. Compare your recording to native speakers discussing similar topics. Notice differences in pronunciation, intonation, pace, and word choice. This practice builds self-awareness. You'll catch patterns in your speech you never noticed before. Maybe you consistently mispronounce certain sounds, or your intonation remains flat. Identifying these patterns is the first step to correcting them. Conversation exchange and language partners. Nothing replaces real conversation. Find language exchange partners through apps, websites, or local meetups. Many Americans are learning other languages and welcome conversation exchanges. These partnerships provide authentic practice and immediate feedback. During these exchanges, don't be afraid to ask your partner to correct you or repeat phrases. Native speakers can offer insights into natural phrasing that textbooks never cover. They'll tell you that while "I am going to the cinema" is grammatically correct, Americans would more likely say, "I'm going to the movies." Reading aloud with focus. Reading aloud from books, articles, or transcripts helps you practice connected speech and proper stress patterns. Choose material slightly above your current level and focus on fluency rather than speed. Pay attention to thought groups, intonation, and linking words together. For best results, find materials with audio versions. Read along with the audio first to hear proper pronunciation and intonation. Then read independently. And finally, record yourself reading and compare with the original. Common pronunciation challenges. Certain sounds prove particularly challenging for non-native speakers depending on their first language. Identifying and targeting your specific challenges accelerates improvement. The TH sounds. English has 2 TH sounds, voiced, as in this, and voiceless, as in think. Many languages lack these sounds, leading speakers to substitute d, t, or z, s sounds. To produce TH correctly, place your tongue tip between your teeth and push air through. Practice minimal pairs like tank, thank, day, they, sink, think, doze, those. Slow down and exaggerate the tongue placement at first, then gradually increase speed while maintaining accuracy. L and R distinction. Speakers of many Asian languages struggle with L and R sounds, sometimes reversing or confusing them. The L sound is made with the tongue tip touching the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth. The R sound, as mentioned earlier, involves curling the tongue back without touching anywhere. Practice light, right, load, road, fly, fry, collect, correct. Record yourself and listen carefully. Can you hear the distinction? If not, slow down and exaggerate the difference until it becomes clear. Vowel length and quality. English has numerous vowel sounds, and slight variations change meaning. The difference between ship and sheep, bit and beat, full and fool lies in vowel length and tension. Americans tend to elongate stressed vowels and reduce unstressed ones dramatically. Listen carefully to these distinctions in native speech. Practice minimal pairs repeatedly until you can both hear and produce the differences consistently. Creating your immersion environment. You don't need to live in America to immerse yourself in American English. Creating an English-rich environment at home is entirely possible with today's technology.
Digital immersion. Change your phone, computer, and social media to English. Follow American content creators. Join English language communities online and consume media in English daily. The more you encounter English in various contexts, the faster your brain adapts to thinking in English. Subscribe to American YouTubers who speak clearly and cover topics you enjoy. Listen to American podcasts during commutes or workouts. Watch American TV shows and movies, first with subtitles if needed, then without. This passive exposure complements active study. Active note-taking. Keep a language journal where you note new expressions, interesting phrases, or pronunciation patterns you've observed. Write example sentences and practice them aloud. Review this journal weekly to reinforce learning. When you encounter a new phrase in context, note not just its meaning but how it was used. Break the ice doesn't just mean initiate conversation. Note that someone used it when describing a networking event. I told a joke to break the ice. Consistency over intensity. Many learners make the mistake of intensive study followed by long breaks. Research shows that consistent, daily practice, even just 20 to 30 minutes, yields better results than sporadic marathon sessions. Your brain needs regular exposure to form new neural pathways for language processing. Create a sustainable routine. 15 minutes of listening practice in the morning, 15 minutes of speaking practice in the evening, and one longer session on weekends for focused study. This consistency builds momentum and makes English a natural part of your daily life. Overcoming psychological barriers. Technical skills are only part of the journey. Many learners struggle with anxiety, self-consciousness, or perfectionism that hinders their progress. Embracing mistakes as learning opportunities. Every mistake is a learning opportunity. Native speakers make mistakes too. They misspeak, forget words, and use incorrect grammar. What matters is communication effectiveness, not perfection. When you make a mistake in conversation, briefly correct yourself if needed and move on. Don't dwell on it or apologize excessively. Some of the most successful English speakers worldwide speak with accents. What makes them effective is confidence, clarity, and communication skills, not accent-free speech. Building speaking confidence. Start small if speaking anxiety holds you back. Talk to yourself in English at home. Describe your activities as you do them. I'm making coffee now. I'm pouring water into the pot. This self-talk builds fluency without social pressure. Progress to low-stakes speaking situations, ordering at a restaurant, asking for directions, or making small talk with the cashier. As confidence builds, move to more complex conversations. Remember that most people are patient with language learners and appreciate your efforts to communicate. Reframing your accent. Your accent reflects your linguistic journey and cultural background. Rather than viewing it as something to eliminate, see it as something to refine for clarity. The goal is intelligibility and fluency, not sounding identical to a native speaker born and raised in America. Many successful professionals, actors, and public speakers have recognizable accents, but speak with such clarity and confidence that their accent becomes a distinctive feature rather than a barrier. Embrace your unique voice while continuously improving your English skills. Measuring progress and setting goals. Fluency is a gradual process without a clear endpoint. Setting measurable goals help maintain motivation and track improvement. Identify larger milestones that represent significant progress. Have a 30-minute conversation entirely in English without switching languages. Watch an American movie and understand 90% without subtitles. Or give a presentation in English at work. These milestones serve as motivation during challenging periods. When progress feels slow, remember how far you've come and visualize where you're heading. Regular self-assessment. Every few months, repeat the same speaking or listening test to gauge improvement objectively. Record yourself answering the same questions or watch the same video clip and note how much more you understand. This concrete evidence of progress is incredibly motivating and helps you identify areas still needing work. Conclusion: your journey to real fluency. Achieving native-like fluency in American English is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires dedication, consistent practice, and patience with yourself. The journey involves mastering individual sounds, intonation patterns, vocabulary, and listening comprehension while building confidence and overcoming psychological barriers. Remember that fluency isn't about perfection, it's about effective communication. Every conversation, every listening session, and every speaking practice moves you closer to your goal. Embrace the process, celebrate small victories, and maintain consistent effort. Your accent tells a story of your background and experiences. The goal isn't to erase that story, but to ensure it never prevents you from expressing yourself clearly and confidently. With the techniques, strategies, and mindset outlined in this guide, you have everything you need to speak English like a native, not by becoming someone else, but by becoming the most fluent, confident version of yourself. Start today. Choose one technique from this guide and implement it immediately. Your journey to real fluency begins with a single step, a single word, a single conversation. The American accent and native-like fluency you aspire to are within reach. All it takes is commitment, consistent practice, and belief in your ability to succeed.